communication. We live in a day and age where our ability to communicate has never been greater. We can communicate using various devices, the smartphone, the internet, all kinds of different things. And we communicate by sharing a message with other people. And that can be as a group, that can be as individuals, that can be like I'm doing now, sharing my message with you. Have a think for a minute if you can come up with 10 different ways in which we communicate. Years ago, communication was difficult without the technology that we had today. Shouting was a good idea. But not only are we having to speak, we also have to listen, because the communication is a two-way process. We speak, others listen, they speak, we listen. And that communication process goes on for each of our lives, whether we're in the home environment, the school environment, in society. We can communicate in real time to people all over the world. And over the past year, we have discovered all manner of different ways to communicate. And whether that's through YouTube, whether that's through WhatsApp, whether that's through just communicating FaceTime, whatever it is, Zoom, any mechanism you like, communication. These particular boxes, which have become a rare item on our streets, had the mechanism of communicating from years ago. And there was an opportunity where you'd go into the box, you'd pick up the phone, you'd speak and you'd listen, you put your money in, you listen for the beeps, and it got a little bit frustrating, but it was a way of communicating. So you'd pick up the phone receiver and you would put your money in and you'd communicate a message. And as I was thinking about this message today, I was thinking about the mechanism of prayer and how we communicate with God. In the country, in the United Kingdom, 27 million adults in the United Kingdom say that they pray. 10 million of them say that they pray regularly. Half of those who pray believe that God hears them. And even the people who are not religious, they too, 20% of them say that they believe and trust in prayer. Prayer is a conversation with God. It's about speaking and listening. It's about communicating to somebody who you may think is out there, but it has an effect on our lives. There's so many different ways in which we can pray. We can pray out loud, or we can pray silently. We can pray as we're walking along. We can make a list of things that we want to pray about. We can pray for other people. And all the time we are communicating and seeking to communicate with God towards others. But there's different ways in which God may answer our prayers. He may say yes. He may say no, and he may say wait. And those are the examples of prayer that people realize and understand. Across all religions, there is an aspect of prayer. Different religions pray in different ways, that silent aspect, that spoken praise aspect, whatever it is, across all manner of different religions, people pray. Within Christianity, and particularly within the New Testament, in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, Jesus is in a conversation with his disciples. And at one occasion, they come to him and say, "Lord, teach us to pray as John," that's John the Baptist, "taught his disciples." And Jesus said to his followers, "When you pray, say, 'Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name.'" And it became known as the Lord's Prayer. And in some churches, they call it the family prayer. And it is a mechanism of a prayer, a set prayer that has existed for centuries that people use when communicating with God. Prayer is a conversation. It is about two people or more than two people sharing in a conversation in which one will speak and one will listen. If you think about your home for a moment, if everybody is speaking at the same time and there's a jumble of words, you can't quite decipher what everybody's saying. But if you allow opportunity to speak and to share, then as people listen, people can respond accordingly. I'm going to go back in my box. Prayer is a conversation with God. You don't need to use special words or a special voice. You can pray out loud. You can pray in silence. God knows what you think and is aware of everything that you do. So you can talk to him at any time about anything. So you can say, "Hello, are you there?" And wait for God to respond. Try Praying is a new initiative which you may see in the area over the next couple of weeks. Posters are going up, these little booklets are going up. Try it for 7 days, give it a go. Speak and listen, communicate and share. I've come back inside now, and if you remember a few moments ago, I mentioned a scheme which is just starting across the area called Try Praying. And different people are thinking about trying praying if you've not done it before, or even if it's your regular practice through whatever religion or whatever you do. Praying can be something that all of us can take up and perhaps try it for a week. And little idea that I'm sharing with different people is to try and think about praying in 3 different ways. So try 3 different things. And the first of which I'm thinking about is try to say thank you. Just imagine for a moment if you said thank you for family and friends and people who share our lives. That could be a start. Thank you for those people today. We could even make a list. And so we're thinking about different people and how can we say thank you for those different people in our lives. Another way would be perhaps to say please. So we're thinking about almost making a plea. So we're saying, please, will you help? Please, will you help? So perhaps think about people who work in the health service. Please, will you help doctors and nurses and those who are looking after people who are not very well? So in a sense, you're making a plea. Please, will you help? So we could again make a little list. So we've thought about thank you. We've thought about please will you help, or please can you help? So we're offering those prayers in that particular way. And finally, perhaps we could think about saying sorry. So we could think about those occasions when we have let people down. We might have said something which is quite wrong, or we might have done something by our actions which is wrong. So we may need to say sorry for something. So in those 3 kind of ways, that thank you, that please, and that sorry, making an offering to prayer and trying to think about prayer in those ways. When the disciples came to Jesus and asked him, Lord, teach us to pray, Jesus invited them to pray in a particular way, and that way was to try and open up their thoughts and their thinking, not only towards God, but towards others, but also towards themselves. I wonder if we could give those things a try today, or perhaps over the next 7 days. Thank you.